with that, then it has all of the microbes and macronutrients that a person needs. Yeah.
Bishop. Ma'am.
President Father, thank you once again being able to serve this great city. Speak a blessing over this week. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for being here this evening. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Deets.
Here.
Bolden.
Here.
McCleary. Sansing.
Here.
Ray. Mashburn.
Here.
Trailer.
Here.
Twitty.
Here.
Kinman.
Here.
Raines.
Here.
Mr. Mayor,
I am present.
I have one absent, sir.
All right, we have a quorum, so moving along. You've got your minutes from last meeting for y'all to be looking at for next time, and this time I'll entertain a motion for the approval of minutes from January 5th.
Approve the minutes to stand.
Motion and second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, those are accepted. Entertain a motion to move on consent agenda.
Second.
First and second. All in favor of consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Moving on, ordinance 1718, waiving of competitive bidding for the Jacksonville Police Department vehicles and upfitting. Entertain a motion to place ordinance 1718 on first reading.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
McCleary. Sansing.
Aye.
Mashburn.
Aye.
Trailer.
Aye.
Twitty.
Aye.
Kinman.
Aye.
Raines.
Aye. Ordinance number 1718, an ordinance waiving competitive bidding for the Jacksonville Police Department vehicles and upfitting for said vehicles for appropriate implementation and access for department and city of Jacksonville representatives, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
Chief Hibbs is with us. Chief, like to explain, talk.
I'd like to explain why we're waiving bidding on this. I'd prefer to do bidding. These vehicles this year, Tahoes, are not on state contract, and so it's a regular purchase out of regular budget. I only found two sources for the Chevy Tahoe PPV, police pursuit vehicle, which is a really good car, and it's working out good for us. There's only two sources I know of, Bell Chevrolet and Superior Auto in Salem Springs. Superior's is the quote you have, $42,000 per vehicle. Bell Chevrolet was, $44,000 per vehicle. Bell Chevrolet was $42,000. It's cheaper. However, they require them to use Cap Fleet upfitters in a prepackaged upfitting package that you're required to purchase through them. And then that's a whole bunch of lights. It was kind of overkill on lights and stuff. It's not what we normally do. And it didn't include the things that we put in our cars, like the computer, the mounts, a storage box in the back, dash camera, which is almost $7,000. So when I added all the stuff that we required, the upfitting on that came to, I believe it's $34,000, which put that vehicle package way more than we would through Superior and our regular upfitter, which is Arkansas Valley in North Little Rock, and it came out cheaper. And so I didn't want to be forced to purchase a upfitting package from somebody else in order to buy a vehicle. I didn't like that. It's not what we do, and it was no good for us. So in this way, it's still cheaper.
Any questions, comments?
We already got some last year's budget in ARPA money. We had 6. This is 3 more off of this year's budget.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little different. All Tahoes, yes. We are very happy with them so far. We've been buying the Ford SUVs for a long time. This year the Ford is on the state contract. However, it's a hybrid vehicle, $42,000, so it's just a little cheaper than the Tahoe. But there's no Ford SUVs, Explorers, just plain gas engine anymore. It's hybrid now. which we'll eventually start buying, but they do cost a little more.
Make a motion, we place ordinance 1718 on first or second reading?
First reading and suspend the rules for second. All right, motion and second, roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
McCleary.
Aye.
Sansing.
Aye.
Mashburn. Trailer.
Aye.
Twitty.
Aye.
Kinman. Raines.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Entertain motion to approve ordinance 1718 on second reading and suspend the rules and place on third and final reading.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, roll call, please.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
McCleary.
Aye.
Sansing.
Aye.
Mashburn.
Aye.
Trailer.
Aye.
Twitty.
Aye.
Kinman.
Aye.
Raines.
Aye.
Motion carries. Entertain motion to approve and adopt ordinance 1718 on this date.
So moved.
Second.
For second, roll call, please.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
McCleary. Sansing.
Aye.
Mashburn.
Aye.
Trailer.
Aye.
Twitty.
Aye.
Kinman.
Aye.
Raines.
Aye.
Motion carries. And then entertain motion to attach the emergency clause.
So moved.
All right, roll call, please.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
McCleary. Sansing.
Aye.
Mashburn.
Aye.
Trailer.
Aye.
Twitty.
Aye.
Kinman. Raines.
Aye.
All right, there's the adoption of ordinance 1718. Thank you all very much.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Next, we've got a request to accept the bid for the shot curtain superstructure. Mr. House, you mind coming forward?
This is the second part of the project at the range, putting up the shot curtain. You guys had already approved the dirt work and drainage work to be done. We sent this out to bid. We had two bidders, and just asking y'all to approve the low bid of Cliff Childress Construction. This will come out of the bond money that was set aside 3 years ago for this, and there's money in the bond left to cover this expense.
Make a motion, we approve.
Second.
Motion and second to accept the bid for the shot curtain. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
That's the low bid, right?
It is the low bid, yes.
One second, Mayor. Kevin, so by doing this, if I remember, it's been a couple of years, we will be able to recapture a lot of that lead and stuff where we weren't able to, and be able to resell it.
Correct, yeah,
So have money coming back in. Some of the new people, I didn't know if you knew that, but basically, we lost 80% of it, but by redoing the curtains and redoing the capture rate and doing this drainage work, we should be able to recapture a lot more, and people are paying good money.
Cardinal Center in Ohio is reclaiming about 96% of the lead shot, and when we've reclaimed, we got about 45%. Yeah,
So it saves us a lot of money, even though we're spending it, we're gonna make a lot of it back.
Correct.
Which is a great thing, so it works good for us.
thank you.
Thank you. We've got a special presentation right now. Bishop Bolden, I'll let you make that introduction.
Thank you. What I'd like to do now is take time to bring to light in the city what we have going on with the Child Protection Center. And I'm honored to bring forward Ms. Jennifer Long, who's come to give us a presentation and enlighten us. I present to you now Ms. Jennifer Long.
Thank you. I appreciate the time to be able to come and talk to you about something we're really excited about in Jacksonville. But to do that, I want to give you guys a background of what Children's Protection Center is and what we accomplish throughout Pulaski County right now. So Children's Protection Center has a home center that is located in Little Rock, and our service area is all of Pulaski County. Our mission is to provide a child-friendly facility where professionals work together to end child abuse, to treat child abuse and its victims, and to help family members provide the right kinds of supports to their children to overcome this. We are a Children's Advocacy Center, and a Children's Advocacy Center is actually a national movement. It is a model There are over 800 advocacy centers in the United States. There are 32 locations already in Arkansas, 17 larger centers, and then several other smaller centers throughout the rural parts of the state. So specifically, Children's Protection Center was developed in Pulaski County to help deal with a few kind of things that were falling apart. Kids falling through the cracks. There was a lack of coordination amongst all of our partners that respond to abuse. That could be law enforcement, DCFS, prosecutor's office, it could be state police. There's also a lack of communication through that. And then a lack of cross-training for everyone to understand what the different processes were so that we weren't traumatizing kids over and over. So to be able to really show you what a CAC accomplishes as in a community, I want to show you what a community looks like, or what it looks like for a child in a community where a CAC does not exist. So we have a child you'll see up on the screen. Her name is Robin. She's 5 years old. Robin goes to school and she tells her teacher that her uncle's hurting her. And Robin and her family have to live with their uncle right now for several different reasons. So she has enough courage to tell her teacher, but at that time, the teacher talks to the principal, so then Robin talks to the principal, and then Robin talks to the counselor. And then they call Robin's family and they call the police. Police show up at the school and talk to Robin, maybe in the police car. Maybe they talk to Robin in the library. Maybe in the teacher's lounge. And then the parents are worried about Robin's physical, like her body, and so they take her to the pediatrician. But the pediatrician cannot collect evidence. So Robin now has to talk to the nurses and the doctors at the pediatrician's office. And then she gets to go to a place like Arkansas Children's Hospital, who do have doctors and nurses who can collect evidence. But then she's talking to all the doctors and nurses there. And then DCFS might get involved. And then. And Robin is talking to all of these different people, and sometimes having to tell her story 15 different times of what her uncle's done to her. That re-traumatizes Robin. That can take up to a month to get through all of the different processes that Robin has to get through. And all of those different community agencies who are doing a wonderful job don't really have a mechanism to share information. Now, sure, you might have a DCFS worker who's friends with the law enforcement investigator or detective, and they might share a little bit 2 weeks down the road, but there really wasn't a mechanism or a process for everyone to work together so that we can make sure that Robin and her family have all the resources they need and that the community has a way to hold the offender accountable. So in a CAC, this is what's happening. Robin tells her teacher. The teacher calls the Arkansas Child Abuse Hotline. The Arkansas Child Abuse Hotline immediately notifies all of the different investigators that need to know about this, DCFS or state police. This DCFS or state police or local law enforcement call Children's Protection Center. And they say, hey, we have a 5-year-old child who needs to be forensically interviewed. Their family needs to have access to services like housing because she lives with her uncle. We need all of this to happen, and we need it to happen now. So within the same day that Robin's told her teacher, Robin and her family get to come to Children's Protection Center, that's a child-friendly location, and get all of those services, everything under one roof. And the DHS worker, the law enforcement detective, the state police person, the mental health therapist, the advocate, all of those people come together to help Robin in one location. And then we stick with Robin after they leave the center. And that's what we're accomplishing in Pulaski County. And we've been doing this since 2007. And right now, we have already been serving the northern part of Pulaski County since that time. So you'll see up on the screen all of the different folks that we consider a part of our multidisciplinary team. At any given day, today for example, all of the folks that represent these agencies were at our center today working on a specific case that was an emergency case that came out of Little Rock Police Department. Just to give you an example. So the Children's Protection Center is kind of like a community center where all of those local agencies can do the work that they need to do. And you'll see this is how families make it to CPC. So Children's Protection Center is a nonprofit agency. We have no right to take a child from their home. We can't hold an offender accountable. But what we can do is make sure all those folks keep that child as their first priority through that process. So our job is to make sure that that family's supported if they're supporting their child, and it's to provide a space where Robin is going to feel comfortable and where all of our partners can do the important work that they need to do. We don't investigate ourselves, obviously, so we are working with all those partner agencies to help them do their job. So we coordinate the care, we do team facilitation. At our center, we have forensic interviewing, family advocacy, mental health. We generally schedule the same day. So if someone calls and it's an emergency situation, children come to our center immediately. We go to the center in the middle of the night when it's needed. We go over the weekends or over the holidays. We have a medical program. I'm going to get into some of that in a little bit. We also offer all of our services in Spanish, which is incredibly important. We have sign language interpreters as well. Anything those kids need, those families need to get services, we're going to make sure that happens. So we have an advocacy program. That is where families get to meet with like a social worker, and our advocates stick with families for months or years after they first come to the center. Some of our families have a ton of needs. They don't have jobs that they can make it to, or maybe their job is requiring them to not be able to care for their children in an appropriate way to keep them safe. Maybe they can't find good daycare. Lots and lots of needs, and our advocate there is there to address those needs in a unique way. This is not cookie cutter, it's not checkbox. Every family situation is so incredibly different. Some of our families have lots of resources. They have a huge supportive care network in their community. So we're just there to hold their hands. So whatever that family needs, our advocate is going to meet them there. Today, our advocates were at the courthouse helping 2 families submit orders of protection against people who are causing harm to their children, as an example. Sometimes we help families find shelter. Sometimes we help families find therapy. We also have a forensic interviewing program. Forensic interviewers are employed by our center. They are trained, highly trained, to be able to talk to a child at their level. They understand child development. All of our interviews are recorded. And while that interviewer is talking to that child, all the investigators are watching that happen, all the different folks that have to investigate. And they're taking notes, all the things that they need to do. And then they also are advising the forensic interviewer on things they might need to ask. But that interviewer is asking questions in such a way that we can defend those in court, which is incredibly important. Our forensic interviewers are often subpoenaed to court in criminal investigations, but we are also used in maltreatment investigations with DHS as well. And we have a mental health program, so all of our families have access to free mental health. They get to meet with a therapist that day. We do crisis counseling. We have support groups. We are working with the families when it eventually can get to prosecution so that they kind of feel that they are in a strong place to be able to face what they're about to in a courtroom. So what's new and why are we here? As I said, we have been doing this since 2007. In 2022, that was our 15-year anniversary. Shortly before COVID happened, we worked with the Jacksonville Police Department for years. We have worked with the local DHS workers that are in Pulaski County for years as well. And shortly before COVID hit, the detective at that time who kind of handled a lot of those cases had asked us if we could just come to Jacksonville to do a forensic interview, which sounds great, and we thought about that. But the kids in Jacksonville also deserved that advocate. They deserved a medical exam, so we provide medical exams on site too, rape kits, sexual assault kinds of responses, and then also STD checks. And so we were like, we need to be able to do all of this. So our board of directors got together at that time, and we're like, what would it look like if we had a center in the North Pulaski area? And then COVID hit, and we ran into funding issues, and we had to put a pin in it. About a year ago, that started to gain more traction as we started to ramp up that work. What we saw was that our numbers at Children's Protection Center jumped 300% over 3 years. So in 2016, we served about 330 kids, and in 2022, we will have served 1,020 children, roughly, okay? So our numbers grew significantly. We also knew that we were serving about a third of those kids, of those 1,000 kids were coming north of the river. A lot of them were coming from the zip codes that make up Jacksonville, which we were able to do with some of our data collection. So we knew we needed a location where we could be kind of in the backyard. We have such a tremendous barrier to service when we're trying to provide these ongoing services to families from the North Pulaski area, and specifically Jacksonville. We Uber families to our center from here. We give them gas cards from here. Our advocates and our staff come here to provide services in people's homes and their apartments. But that really isn't the best way to provide services. We knew we needed to be in the community. We knew we needed to expand. When we first started serving kids, in 2016, for example, we moved to a new location, and we were serving 330 kiddos. We had 3 staff members. When we started to make plans for Jacksonville for North Pulaski, we knew that we had to grow our staff. And so we are at now 15 staff members. That was our kind of first step, was to be able to get funding and to grow the programming so that we would be able to cover a center in Jacksonville. And we're there. We also needed to expand our home center in Little Rock, and that's something that we've already accomplished as well. So we're working on the center here. I want to talk to you a little bit more about what our vision is for that. And then I want you guys to ask questions if you have any or not. That's okay too. Something we're really excited about too is that we just got approved for a facility dog. So that's something we'll be bringing to the Jacksonville Center as well, is a dog that can follow kids through the process. So, as many of you know, Dr. Owa is actually a board member of Children's Protection Center. So when we started this project about a year ago to kind of finally start moving through, we started looking for locations of where we could put this space in Jacksonville. And there were several community members that helped us through that process too. But we couldn't find a location that was basically going to be something that we could sustain for almost free. And when Dr. O was sitting there talking to us during a board meeting, he was like, you know, we have a school where we're no longer teaching there, but we're still using it for different school district functions. What would it look like if we partnered? I was like, man, I have no idea what that would look like. There is no CAC in the United States that has partnered with a school district like this. So we went to Pinewood, which was the school he was talking about, and we started looking and laying eyes on it, and I was just like, this could work. This is a community location. They're still providing services there. You know, they're still serving the students of North Pulaski County there. So it just seemed like a no-brainer, because some of the work we do too is to educate our teachers about recognizing abuse, how to respond in a trauma-informed way. It just seemed amazing. So we started to collaborate with Dr. Owa and then Daniel Gray also with the school board, and we've been talking about what that kind of partnership will look like. And nothing has been officially set, but we are moving towards this process, moving towards this goal of being able to locate within about a third of the Pinewood Elementary School. And you'll see in your packets a little more detailed drawing of what we envision for the outside and what we envision on the inside of our space. Now the outside, so where we are currently located on Children's Hospital campus, is beautiful. And every child deserves that response. And we want to carry that same feeling to Jacksonville. So we don't want to spare any expense. So this construction, this kind of renovation is going to be expensive for us. And we are currently in the process of raising money for that. It's about $1.3 million, as you will see in your packet too. You're going to see some other things in your packet, a little bit more information about CACs, what Arkansas offers, what we do in Pulaski County as well. But as you can see, these are the plans. Our vision is to offer all services, all Children's Advocacy Center services, all the services I talked to you about all the time. So this would be a center that's staffed full-time. We would offer medical exams there. No one would have to leave to go to Little Rock. They would be able to get everything in Jacksonville. Now, in emergency situations, we'll be working on that. We're trying to create community partnerships with Unity and other community groups too, so that we're able to provide those kinds of services in Jacksonville. We've also created a steering committee because to raise the money, but more importantly, to build the community support for us to actually be located here, we need the community's help and their partnership. We don't just need funding. That's important initially, of course, but we need friends. We need people to understand what we do. It is the community's responsibility to respond to child abuse, and we need the community to fully embrace that. And we want to work with community partners that are already providing food security, housing, any of those services, because our families that we serve are going to need that help, and we don't need to recreate the wheel, but what we want to do is get rid of red tape, bureaucracy, any barrier to service that might be there, and let our staff help families navigate that system, while those community partners understand better where these families are coming from and the crisis that they're dealing with at that time. So we are on a timeline. We have raised about $500,000 towards this. We have some good news coming, I think, in the next few weeks as well. But we are still in the process of raising money. But I really believe that by the end of the spring, we'll have what we need to be able to start the renovation. Any questions about our services or what our plans are right now?
What I wanted to add also, you said, what did you call a little girl in the?
Robin.
Also, we need to be ready for little Tim Tim.
Yes, that is absolutely true.
You know, little Tim Tim has some problems too. So I just wanted to make sure that was clear, because
yes,
a lot of people, you know, we gear toward Robin, but little Tim Tim got some.
For sure, and when we track that too, and it's difficult when we're dealing with males because culturally, that's hard for people to understand. And so we're there to help families embrace that and to understand the different situations that can arise from that too, and to help our community understand that. But you're absolutely right.
I just want to take the time to thank you so much for everything that you do. I know that the resources that your your center provides is definitely needed. I'm glad that somebody's looking for the rights of the children.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. It is really hopeful work. I know when we talk about child abuse, we suck our teeth. It can be scary because we don't think there's life after that happens, but healing is 100% possible. And when they are young, before the trauma really sets into our brain, we have such an opportunity to change the trajectory. And that gets to happen every day at a CAC. And so I'm very lucky to have to be in the position I'm in. Very, very lucky.
Now,
in society now, a lot of people forget about the fact that our children are being damaged. I believe it's Kate Middleton. She's
Oh, yeah.
a program now for the children, bringing to our attention that children are damaged from birth. Depends on how the parents or the household, what their upbringing is. And our future in the United States and the world is based on how well we take care of the children. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to bring, I really appreciate this, and I appreciate you bringing it to us, and I appreciate being part of the organization.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Jacksonville has welcomed us with open arms, and it has been wonderful to be invited into the community this way. We did not want to come in and say, hey, Little Rock does it, let's do it like that in Jacksonville. We knew there would be a different approach, and I'm just heartened by that and how much everyone in the community wants to take this responsibility and go with it, and that's wonderful, and just very thankful, very, very thankful for you guys and your community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
now you had mentioned that there's already a working partnership between JPD and the CAC. I was wondering if Chief Hibbs could come up and kind of talk about the current and benefits of the future advancements.
We have, we've been talking about this for, it seemed like a couple of years now,
Yes.
but super excited about it. It's going to be helpful for us because they will give us a interview room, forensic interviews, and they already have a relationship with detectives. They already go to their center now. Now people will be able to go, we won't have to ask them to come to the police department for an interview and do all that. They will provide a detective a place to go to do that. And the people they don't like being seen, you know, with the police coming into the school or coming into the police department, and it's a place where they won't be seen by other people they know and all that stuff. And so the detective, Detective Lee's my juvenile detective, but the others will go there too. She's been trained at forensic interviews and doing that, and she already goes to there, but now they will provide a place for us to go do that. And that's going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
I think, is there any more to that?
No, I think
so.
that's great, yeah.
We've been excited about this for a while, yeah, and
Every time the chief always asks, when's it happening, when's it happening, yeah.
We were, you know, before the school, we were looking at the hospital, maybe giving them a room or someplace over there, and I think Pinewood's going to work out great. They'll have their own space, they can renovate it. And
That's what I was gonna say, Chief.
Yeah.
The good thing is, we got a good place for it, it's gonna be for good use. We can revitalize it instead of letting everything run down.
Yeah.
Because we could give them Jacksonville Elementary, but I don't think they want that.
no,
But I'm
but
just saying, it's a great use of a building, because we have so many buildings that can be revitalized and used for something like this, and in a great area. And y'all, you know, I know we've talked 2 or 3 years ago about it. I'm so happy that we're going to probably be able to see this.
what, and to reiterate what she started with is, there's a lot of people don't use their services in Jacksonville now because it's too far. They don't have a means to get there, or they just can't. And this will be something here. We've been wanting this in our area. We've been using it for a long time, as much as we could. I think we'll use it even more.
Yeah, absolutely. We know that number is going to increase.
Yeah.
The family that we worked with today, for example, came from Jacksonville. She actually was at our center on Monday, but was late in the day, and so we couldn't file the order of protection. So she had to drive back to Jacksonville. We had to wait until this morning. She had to drive to the center so we could complete the order of protection, then go to the prosecutor's office or the courthouse. Just lots of connection issues, and we had to help her get to our center to be able to afford gas to do that.
I think we discussed, there's a percentage of people come from Jacksonville, but also Sherwood.
Yep.
And they could use this in the county, Pulaski County, and I think we even discussed, they don't have to be in Pulaski County, right? They can be from Cabot.
Correct.
And everywhere else. to
Yeah,
use
we'll be
their
working with
services.
them as well.
So
And we
it's really
work with, yeah, we work with the base also. So we'll work with their family advocates there too, and their detectives or special investigators, yeah.
You know, it's a big plus that's coming here. Years ago, when I retired from the military, my wife worked as an MDT coordinator. And Jacksonville PD has always been strongly involved. And I remember her making all the road trips to Children's and all that. So she's ecstatic that it's going to be close because the children need it. And it was a hard job on the person who does that because to see what children go through, you know.
Thank you.
Right. I definitely want to emphasize on the fact that the children definitely need it. Because anytime that somebody experiences a traumatic situation like that, when you add the logistics issues that you're describing and the hoops and hurdles, that just adds another brick to that trauma wall as far as experiencing that goes.
Absolutely. It's wonderful work because we can make a difference. Trauma changes the brain, and we can change that, you know, so.
Well, we appreciate you making the presentation.
Yeah,
Thank you so
absolutely.
much.
Thank
Hopefully
you.
a lot of council members that's up here listening to you will empty their pocketbooks your way.
Thank you.
Listening is okay, but giving money is a lot better.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. We are going to be doing some community lunch and learns too, so be on the lookout for that as well. And if you are interested in making the trip over the river to see what the work looks like, you know, in the real life world, you are welcome to come see us. My card is in there. Please reach out, email, or call me if you want to come check it out there. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We've got some appointments to go through tonight. First, Jacksonville Historical District, and you've got these in your packet, but the appointment of Robin Wakefield for a term set to expire December 31st of '23, and the appointment of Addie Gibson, term to expire 12/31/24, appointment of Jane Talent, Ollie Mashburn to expire 12/31/25.
And Alan Loppy, I'm sorry, Mayor. I just remembered that Stephanie reminded me that we can't have a salary or an elected municipal office on here. So I have Jason Sanders, who is in here tonight and in the audience. He has volunteered to be it. He's one of our members. Jason, Jason Sanders, Sanders, to replace Alan Loffey.
Any questions? All in
Mr.
favor?
Mayor? Oh,
Oh, go
you
ahead.
didn't need a motion. So.
No, but all in favor of these appointments, approval, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on, Planning Commission, reappointments of Greg Boland, William Montgomery, and Jim Moore for terms set to expire January 1st of '26. Any questions?
We need a motion and second.
Need a motion and second on that?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second. All right, motion and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, opposed? Final Civil Service Commission, the reappointment of Clarence Walters for a term set to expire April 1st of '28. Entertain motion to accept? Second? Second. Motion and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Any old business, any discussions?
I'm gonna meet with, next week, Jerry Clare for the department, and about the buildings, the work that he wants to do,
Mhm.
come up with a plan. So I'll be bringing it to us in a couple of weeks. Adam's gonna meet with me, but we've talked, he's got some pretty good ideas for doing the animal stuff and that. In fact, I didn't realize he has most of the equipment to do a lot of this stuff himself, that's what he does. So I told him I needed to just, specific plan, put it down and look at it, so we know what we're looking at. And he's also, has a lot of people that are still ready to go and wanting to make big donations to help pay for it. So I'll try to get that together. Probably gonna meet, with him on Tuesday, but Wednesday, I'll probably have it here in the meeting or have another meeting discussing the ordinance on the plans for about 15 minutes. But that's just a thing on.
Any other new business, new items?
What's the announcement?
Councilman.
I do have an announcement, if y'all bear with me for just a minute. This is addressed to the mayor and to my fellow city council members. It has been my honor over the last 20 years to serve and represent the citizens of Jacksonville on the Jacksonville Planning Commission, the Board of Adjustments, the Parks and Rec Commission, and the Jacksonville Advertising and Promotion Committee, and for the last 12 years as a city council member representing Ward 4. After spending 60 years as a resident of Jacksonville and the last 31 years as a resident of Ward 4, an opportunity for my wife and myself has presented itself. We will be moving to a property north of town and will no longer be residing in Ward 4 or in the city limits of Jacksonville. I feel confident that under the leadership of the current mayor, the city is in very good hands, and with that, I do respectfully submit my resignation from the Jacksonville City Council and the Jacksonville Advertising Promotion Committee effective tomorrow, Friday, February the 3rd. It has been an honor to serve.
Councilman Trevor, thank you very much for your years
Thank you.
of service in many
Congratulations on
capacities. So thank you very much, and good luck to you and your wife on that, and enjoy that new land.
Yep, we will.
I'm sure
We will.
you will.
Thank y'all.
So, with that being said, at this point in time, I would like to entertain a motion, if somebody would, to go into executive session for just a couple of minutes.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay? Roll call.
One moment.
Sorry, getting ahead of it.
That's okay. Councilmember Deeds.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
McCleary. Sansing.
Aye.
Mashburn.
Aye.
Trailer.
Can I vote on this? Aye.
You're still here.
Effective tomorrow.
Twitty. Aye. Kinman. Aye. Raines.
Aye.
All right. We will dismiss for that. We will adjourn back in here in just a couple of minutes.
Susan.